Anybody know what happened in 1906, San Francisco? Let me give you a hint. Yeah, that's right. The famous earthquake. So, San Francisco, because of that, has very limited school space. At the same time, Japanese immigration increased as a result of the Russo-Japanese War. Newspapers expressed concern about that yellow peril. What's yellow talking about? Racist kind of thing. Some suggested that newspapers were the real yellow peril. Get that? Play on the yellow journalism. Special school established for Japanese. Special school, aka segregation. Roosevelt browbeats the San Francisco School Board into submission by calling them all to the White House. There's a gentleman's agreement made. Teddy can't get an official congressional thing happening. It can't happen fast enough, whatever. But he says, here's the deal. Japan, I tell you what, I'll stop the segregation. I will. Trust me, I'm Teddy Roosevelt. But you got to stop all this immigration. That's got to stop. So you stop the immigration, I'll stop the segregation. Now, we can't make an official deal. We can't sign anything because this is going to happen under the table. So, hey, let's make a gentleman's agreement. You know, I'm a gentleman, you're a gentleman. When we give our word, word is word. So that's what a gentleman's agreement is between two gentlemen. All that you need is a handshake and deal is done. Frankly, that's how many million-dollar deals are done on the golf course, shaking of hands. Of course, they sign a contract later. Now, 1907, 1908, gentleman agreement with Japan voluntarily restricts immigration and he ends the segregation. Okay. So let's look at the root Tarahira agreement. Tarahira. U.S. and Japan agree to maintain the status quo in the Pacific. Status quo. Everything stays the same. We have Hawaii. We have Samoa. We have the Philippines. Now, by the way, this is going to upset Japan. As they grow militarily in the 30s, they are going to see the U.S. in the Philippines, in Samoa, in Guam, in Midway, as major problem in establishing their sphere of influence. Territorial integrity of China is guaranteed. Open door policy is to be honored. And then you have the Roosevelt quote. Please tell me I have it up here. Here it is. I'm exceedingly anxious to impress upon the Japanese that I have nothing but the friendliest possible intentions towards them. But I am nonetheless anxious that they should realize that I am not afraid of them and that the United States will no more submit to bullying than to bully. Bully. Why would you paint ships white? No ships are white except passenger ships. And you don't paint ships white unless you want them to be seen. Usually, you don't want a military ship to be seen that easily. That's why they're painted gray. But here in Big Stick Diplomacy, something different. Now, very famous cartoon. This is one of the most famous cartoons in American history. Can you tell me what this is? This is the Roosevelt corollary. The big stick in the Caribbean, the receiver being the debt collector, the receiver, all having to do with receiving and collecting of debts. And all these countries that were in debt to Europe, don't worry about it. We'll collect your debt. Europe, stay out. There's another Teddy Roosevelt. Notice how he's dressed as a New York cop. Not only is he acting as the world's police, well, at this point, he was acting as the world's police, actually, in this one. He was also a former New York City police commissioner. All right, so let's look at the Great White Fleet. The Great White Fleet. Entire fleet had 16 battleships. 16 battleships embark on a worldwide cruise. They want to go everywhere. They were seeking a feast, a frolic, or a fight. They wanted the world to see them. Remember, doesn't help you any if nobody knows you have the big stick. They need to see the big stick so you can speak softly. There was criticism over sending the fleet. Possibility could get caught in a storm. Possibility be hostility received towards it. Start a war. Yet it was well received in both South America and Japan. Heck, Japanese school children sing to him. The obvious intent here was to impress upon the weaker countries the power of the U.S. This was the tactics of Roosevelt. All right. Roosevelt foreign policy. What did it change? Certainly changed the role of the United States in world affairs. We became now we went from no entangling alliances to then that age of imperialism where we're going to get ours if it helps the United States to now world police. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the imperialism presentation. Your next film will be on the progressive era. So this was foreign policy of progressives, after, just the progressive of Teddy, led in by McKinley. Now we're going to go into the three progressive presidents, Teddy, Taft, and Wilson.